The TVWAN News is proudly brought to you by
Hello, this is TVWAN News. I'm Jasmine Irojak. Prime Minister James Marape has called for a major shift in how Port Moresby's water infrastructure is planned and expanded, urging Water PNG Limited and relevant agencies to adopt a long-term, staged and strategic approach to meet the city's growing demand. Speaking after a presentation by Water PNG Chief Executive Officer James Young in Port Moresby yesterday, the Prime Minister said the capital could no longer rely solely on aging infrastructure and a single water supply system.
Prime Minister James Marape has emphasized a strategic overhaul of Port Moresby's water infrastructure, highlighting that a critical need for sustainable urban planning must be done in the face of rapid population growth and urban expansion. He urged Water PNG Limited and relevant agencies to adopt a long-term and phased approach and advocated for infrastructure that is not only robust but also capable of adapting to the city's dynamic demands. The Prime Minister highlighted the need to align water planning with broadened urban expansion, particularly towards new growth areas such as Gereo Stages 6 and 7, as well as emerging industrial and logistics zones outside the traditional city boundary. He says future development should be supported by separate, purpose-built water systems rather than drawing from the same aging network serving the existing city. Marape expressed concern over assessments indicating a high probability of major system stress or failure if urgent interventions were not undertaken, noting that aging assets and rising demand posed a real risk to water security in the capital. He further reassured citizens that the government is taking proactive steps to enhance its compliance with international standards, thereby aiming to earn back trust and confidence in Papua New Guinea's financial systems. He encouraged Water PNG Limited to explore a mix of solutions, including public-private partnerships, hybrid supply models, and private sector participation in infrastructure development, while ensuring the government retains oversight of distribution, pricing, and long-term planning. Freddie Mo, TVWAN News.
Eviction of illegal settlers residing at the Hohala White House area in the nation's capital began this morning. It was endorsed by the court and is being enforced by the NCD Central Police Command. TVWAN News was prevented by police from accessing the area to capture footage of the eviction exercise. These amateur videos show materials of dismantled structures that once housed the evictees as they move about to vacate the area. Acting Assistant Commissioner of Police for the NCD Central, Benjamin Turi, confirmed in a recent media statement that his office was notified of the endorsed eviction exercise. Turi said police will only enforce directives from the courts based on genuine documents. He added that illegal settlements popping up in other locations will also be demolished when the city authority gives the green light. Prime Minister James Marape has addressed concerns following the addition of Papua New Guinea by the Financial Action Task Force, the Grey List. The designation follows the conclusion of the FATF plenary on February the 13th, 2026, where Papua New Guinea and Kuwait were added to the list of countries. They will now be required to strengthen their anti-money laundering and counter-terrorism financing frameworks.
Prime Minister James Marape has responded to concerns regarding Papua New Guinea's recent inclusion in the Financial Action Task Force or FATF grey list. This means PNG will be under increased monitoring. In his address to heads of departments recently, Prime Minister Marape emphasized the government's commitment to improving transparency, accountability, and compliance within public financial management and service delivery.
You and me are sitting under the shade of the Somali generation, the democracy they birthed, the free market economy they created, the independence of court system they created, the Ombudsman Commission they set up. Yet most of us are squandering time. I'm not talking about money, squandering time. The greatest chronic problem facing our country is the misuse of time, squander of time, waste of time, not getting things done, and pushing on to the next day, thinking someone else will do the job the next day, and you will do the job next day. Seeing the same paper 100 times before deciding on what to do. Gentlemen, I have no time to waste. I need men and women who can rise up to work for our country and not work for themselves.
The Prime Minister stressed that the government has already taken steps to strengthen the country's integrity and accountability framework. He reassured citizens that the government is taking proactive steps to enhance its compliance with international standards, thereby aiming to earn back trust and confidence in Papua New Guinea's financial systems.
Work, work, and work. All of you do not need to be lectured on MTDB4. By this July 7th, it will be 10th year in which we've launched MTDB4 here. So for those, especially those who are continuing office, by 31st of March, what you have delivered to expectations of government through MTDB4 that encapsulates this Pango administration's vision must be reported to your minister, to cabinet, to the minister, and to parliament. I will have a session with all of you after 31st of March this year, so that your report card is presented to the floor of parliament for people to know what you and me have been doing collectively.
Marape says with the legal and institutional architecture now in place, the responsibility lies with implementing agencies to fully exercise their statutory mandates. He confirmed that the government has already begun strengthening coordination between the departments of finance, treasury, and national planning, while also engaging private sector accounting firms to audit public accounts and track displacement and compensation claims. Freddie Moe, TV1 News.
Governor for NCD Paus Pakop has been vocal about the Vagrancy Act for several years and gave this news team an update on the act recently during a press conference. Pakop shared that the draft of the Vagrancy Act is in place and could be moved in the next session of Parliament. March 10th is the next Parliament sitting, and the Governor for NCD Paus Pakop advised that the Vagrancy Act draft could be moved in the next sitting after it was previously withdrawn last year. The Vagrancy Act in PNG is a proposed, controversial law aiming to curb urban drift and crime by empowering courts to issue exclusion orders, forcing unemployed individuals or suspected criminals in cities to return to their home villages. While intending to improve public safety, previous versions were declared unconstitutional in the 1980s, 90s for violating freedom of movement.
We have also the Vagrancy Act now. It went through a process and I had to withdraw it because there was some objection from the Department of Justice and Attorney General. We have dealt with it through the Parliamentary Committee on Constitutional Law and Subordinate Legislation. And so I had to withdraw it and address their concern. So now we have a draft that everybody is happy with. So it could be moved this coming session, which starts on the 10th of March.
Governor Pakop clarified to those who misinterpreted the act that it would not abuse the freedom of movement for citizens in the country that is far from the truth.
And the Vagrancy Act, if it passed, let me talk clear. I see some people on social media, TikTok and Facebook, saying that it will be against freedom of movement or against poor people or no. The Vagrancy Act is against people who commit violence and crime. I want to make it very clear. If you are in the settlement or in whatever community in the city or in towns in our country, and if you don't commit crimes or violence, you have nothing to worry about the Vagrancy Act. But once you start committing crime, especially use of violence, you are threatening your own, residency.
Pakop said once the act is in action, the police are empowered to arrest or summon individuals found to be committing offenses or who have no lawful means of support. Following a court inquiry, individuals convicted of offenses can be issued exclusion orders, compelling them to be transferred or repatriated back to their province of origin. Commuters will no longer pay cash fines for road traffic offenses. The Road Traffic Authority, or RTA, has put a stop to this practice following complaints from road users in Leh.
Acting Chief Executive Officer for the Road Traffic Authority, John Avira, has announced that the RTA has now put a stop on all cash payment of road traffic offences, either at road checks or even in RTA offices. Avira was responding to social media allegations of road users being fined in cash, without traffic infringement notices being issued, and without receipts in Leh, which serves as the Momase RTA regional office. The acting CEO clarified that any road user served a traffic infringement notice by an RTA traffic enforcement officer must use the FPOS machines provided at the road check. If no FPOS machines are provided, the road user must take the traffic infringement notice to an RTA office where he or she can make payment using an FPOS machine. In either case, there must be no cash payments, and the road user must insist on a payment receipt showing the amount paid and when it was paid. Avira said road users must know their rights. Anyone whose rights are infringed by any RTA officer through forced cash payments must note the name of the officer, time, and report the matter to the officer in charge at the RTA office. Avira said 2 FPOS machines have been secured for Leh, and one of those is supposed to be used for road checks by traffic enforcement officers. He stressed that no one is above the law, and any traffic enforcement officer found guilty of soliciting funds under the guise of enforcing traffic laws and regulations will be dealt with severely, including termination of employment. Kamila Gware, TVWAN News, Leh.
Port Moresby is set to embrace the change that will come with PNG NRL's franchise, PNG Chiefs. NCD Governor and staunch Rugby League supporter Powers Pakop vows to support the government to transform Port Moresby as groundwork intensifies with the establishment of a robust board under the chairmanship of Catherine Harris and franchise CEO Lorna McPherson.
At today's PNG Chiefs media conference, Governor Pakop expressed great confidence and excitement for the much-anticipated infrastructure transformation the PNG NRL franchise would bring to the nation's capital. Pakop made specific mention of the extension plan for the existing National Football Stadium that would include the adjacent Boroko Market facility.
For us in the city, Prime Minister, we take this initiative seriously. It's a transformative initiative that will see the lifestyle and infrastructure and services and all the dynamics in the city change. But we understand too, and we acknowledge that this is also a national transformative initiative, so that we take that seriously.
Pakop revealed plans as the host city of the NRL Chiefs in 2028.
On our part in the city, we are going to make sure that we are great hosts We prepare the city in all ways, socially, economically, infrastructure-wise, lifestyle, preparing for 2028.
He said planning is in progress to build proper amenities which would cover an adequate car park linking the existing Boroko market.
We will have a problem with the car parking here, so we've already started planning the appropriate place on the other side. Boroko market, that's where we can offer, the adequate car park for the games when it starts in 2028.
Pakop also highlighted that with the huge influx of visitors come 2028, NCDC is also working with the hospitality industry to make sure they are ready to cater for the big numbers, a step up for the tourism industry.
Overwhelmed here in Port Moresby, but for good reasons. We can start to think about the economic opportunity, the jobs and business and, everything that goes with it. So it's absolutely more than just a rugby league game or a rugby league team. So Port Moresby, we are very excited. We are working also, we will be working with the Central Province, with the Tourist Promotion Office. They've got a lot of potential in Central Province.
Ruth Rungula, TV1 News.
This is TV1 News. Community in Mendi access electricity and RPNGC increase recruitment. We'll have those stories and more after the break.
Banking doesn't have to be complicated. With PSB's One Talk Wallet, control your money wherever, whenever. Dial *131#, enter your PIN, select cash in or out, and generate a secure code to withdraw cash. It's the only wallet for cardless ATM withdrawals. Send and receive funds, pay for goods and bills, or withdraw cash with ease. All with PSB's One Talk Wallet. PSB's One Talk Wallet. Money made easy. Dial *131# today.
When you're all in, anything can happen. Grab a Coca-Cola and enjoy the moment.
Cold Power Citrus Blast uses stain-fighting active particles to remove dirt, grease and stains from your family's washing with less scrubbing and rubbing, reducing wear and tear and saving you time. Cold Power Citrus Blast has an amazing citrus fragrance that gives that extra freshness that will last all day long.
Ready for the world, so is your Teaser Visa card. Visa keeps you moving wherever you go, Papua New Guinea or abroad. Seamlessly pay for travel, dining, online shopping. Easily access your funds and instantly track your expenses. Every tap comes with security, trust, and peace of mind. Unlock the world of possibilities. And it all starts with the new Teaser Visa card.
Your weekend catch-up just got better. Relieve the power and passion of the Harris Season 2.
So you come look Sinabablomia.
Fall in love all over again with Dolce Amor. And don't miss the thrilling twists of Brothers Chapter 5. Stop this bickering! 3 hit Filipino dramas waiting for you this February on TV1 Plus. Your home for the best stories all weekend long.
Welcome back. Communities stretching from the River Anga to River Angula from Lower Mendi in Southern Highlands Province are now connected to electricity following the installation of 4 power transformers recently.
The transformers were purchased and installed by Joseph Wandi, Managing Director of Mali Finance, an SME-owned company. The power transformers were installed in Yamba, Lol, Asasa and Papera villages, enabling households to finally access electricity despite a PNG Power main line passing through the area for many years. The absence of transformers had long prevented families from connecting to electricity. Their installation now allows homes to access lighting and power, enabling students to study at night, improving household safety, and supporting overall community development. Speaking at the ceremony, Wande thanked God for his blessings and acknowledged the Maraperoso government for its support and subsidy programs for small and medium enterprises in the country. He encouraged communities not to rely solely on government support, stressing that individuals and SME operators can contribute meaningfully to development. Mr. Wande said his company may be small, but his commitment to community development motivated him to act. He also urged the government to continue supporting SMEs, noting that empowered local businesses can help deliver essential services in underserved areas. All 7 local council areas appreciate the local leader for delivering electricity infrastructure and supporting education in their communities. Community leaders describe the project as a powerful example of how grassroots leadership and locally driven enterprise can help transform rural communities in Papua New Guinea. Tracy Pa, TVWAN News.
Acting Managing Director for Climate Change Development Authority, Deborah Sungi, said it has come a long way from 2016, straight after the Paris Agreement, to submitting its first nationally determined contributions, and as the first country to submit its contributions. Sungi made these remarks at the CCDA's NDC 3.0 stakeholder consultations held recently at the Gateway Hotel to review the draft Nationally Determined Contribution 3.0 for Papua New Guinea.
That's from where we are right now with this overall.
Sungi said the NDC's initial contributions were nothing new. Rather, it was actually something that they had just derived from the key government policies and vision, the Vision 2050 especially. So they had those targets there to guide them.
We have those targets that were there to guide us. So it was actually something that we worked towards from 2016 up to 2020, which we did our first NDC that we submitted to enhance NDC, as we say it, the current. We submitted to the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change as our commitment under the Article 13 of the Paris Agreement. That sees a couple of advanced targets that we have outlined in that NDC, enhanced NDC itself, with some specific quantifiable targets that were outlined. And some of those specific targets were around the agriculture, forestry, and other land use sector, which is our mitigation contribution, and also the transport sector and the energy sector, which focuses on the electricity.
Sungi said those targets they set, the quantifiable targets around transport and the energy sector, were the more policy-driven or policy intervention targets that they listed out as their contribution. The agriculture, forestry, and other land use have a very specific quantifiable target of 10,000 kilograms of CO2 equivalent reduction that they had in the approval sector.
Apart from that, we also have the adaptation targets as well that we listed out as our contribution, given that Papua New Guinea, on the other hand, face the impacts of climate change at a larger scale, like other small island developing countries. Hence, our contribution as well around the adaptation sector was identified in the enhanced NDC. So we have 4 key sectors that we looked at under the health sector, the transport sector, the infrastructure sector, and the agriculture sector.
Chief Environment Policy Section ESCAP Lorenzo Santucci from the UN Economic and Social Commission for Asia and the Pacific Office in Bangkok congratulated the CCDA for completing the important milestone under the Paris Agreement. Frida Kana, TVWAN News.
40 Papua New Guinean women researchers graduated from a program delivered by the APAC Study Center at RMIT University in Melbourne on Friday the 13th of February 2026. The Stronging Research Capacity Belong All Meri program forms part of the Australian government's commitment to supporting women's participation in a diverse and inclusive research sector, contributing to long-term sustainable economic growth. Gretel Matawan, a senior project officer with the Consultative Implementation and Monitoring Council, was among the participants. Her work at CIMC focuses on enhancing women's participation in the annual budget process, and she has already begun putting her skills into practice. The Royal Papua New Guinea Constabulary is conducting an additional recruitment drive at the Bomana National Centre of Excellence in the National Capital District to increase the number of recruits entering police training. Officials say this additional intake is critical for strengthening the force and meeting the growing security needs of the National Capital District and beyond.
With the opening of new infrastructure at the Bomana National Centre of Excellence, management of the Royal Papua New Guinea Constabulary has increased its recruitment intake from 300 to 500 trainees per batch. This initiative supports the national government's commitment to expand the police force to 10,000 personnel by 2030 as part of the ongoing law and justice sector reforms. From 2026 onwards, the Constabulary plans to further increase intake numbers to approximately 700 recruits per batch. In December 2025, a public call-out invited interested applicants from NCD, Central and Gulf provinces to apply for the additional recruitment drive. A total of 7,696 applications were received through the RPNGC online portal. Of those, 2,711 applicants were shortlisted, while the remainder were unsuccessful due to missing documents, low grades in mathematics and English, being over the age limit, or not meeting other recruitment criteria. Of the 2,711 shortlisted applications, 2,806 are from NCD, 463 from Central, and 162 from Gulf Province. The recruitment process for NCD candidates is currently underway at the Bomana National Centre of Excellence. Once completed, the team will proceed to Central and Gulf Provinces. The NCD recruitment began on Monday, 9th February 2026 and is expected to be completed by the end of this week. The shortlisted applicants will proceed through the recruitment process to determine their eligibility for the additional intake. Successful candidates from this drive will join the second batch of 2025 recruits drawn from the Highlands and New Guinea Islands regions for police training commencing in April 2026. Due to time constraints, this additional recruitment drive is limited to NCD's Central and Gulf provinces. A separate call-out for the 2026 police recruitment will be announced later. Tracy Pa, TV1 News.
And now the finance news. The kina closed changed at 0.2331 US dollars in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, our kina was buying 0.2256 US dollars, 0.3154 Australian dollars, 0.1822 euro, and 34.34 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, oil closed unchanged, except crude oil closed higher and gold closed lower. And on the stock market, the Dow Jones closed unchanged, ASX closed higher, and all ordinaries closed higher as well. You're watching TV1 News. After the break, thousands affected by flood and Women Awards 2026 launched.
For too long, banking has felt out of reach for many. But now, PSP's One-Took Wallet is here to change that. Send and receive money, pay bills, and top up. It's your money, wherever, whenever. Because at PSP, we are committed to improving how our customers connect to our One-Talks, to our family, to the ones we love. PSP's One-Took Wallet. Money made easy. Dial *131# for everyone.
Tell him shorty come get it in. Come grind on me, but me did it. Mommy get loose, get loose, get loose. Pepsi in my hand, ice cold, no excuse. I tell him who's gonna bring that groove down. Pepsi with that fresh sound. Tell him who's gonna bring that groove down. Pepsi with that fresh sound. Pepsi, give me some Pepsi, Pepsi, you like it? Pepsi, you like it? Pepsi,
Head back to school with Colgate and Protex. Win big. Lots of great prizes to win for your school. To enter, use your favorite Colgate and Protex products. Keep all your empty packets, take them to school and give them to your teacher. Visit the Colgate Pacific PNG Facebook page for more info on how to register. Win school supplies, sporting equipment, and more, all for your school with Colgate and Protex. Promotion ends March 31st, 2026.
Long year 2024, 7 pla baby i born one time HIV. HIV ikan go long baby long triple rot. Time bel mama ikat HIV, long time long karing baby, na time baby is susu. Tasol yumi can help him bel mama, long look out him baby inside long bell. Go quick time long bel mama clinic, na kisim antenatal check. Time yumi pan him sick HIV area, o time bel mama i positive penis, early treatment i can save him baby. Give him baby healthy start long life. Stop him spread long sick HIV eagle long baby. This lutok sawe ikam long National AIDS Council Secretariat.
What would you say to 6 months free bonus credit? Wowee! That's right. Get the Wowee 4G LTE smartphone from Digicel and you'll enjoy 35 Kina bonus credit every month for 6 months, plus a whopping 50 gigs of data and 60 minutes free talk for 7 days. Hurry! Get your Wowee 4G LTE smartphone for only 199 Kina at a Digicel store or agent today and say Wowee to a total of 210 Kina free credit. Only with Digicel.
The NBA on ESPN is happening now. We don't know who's going to catch fire or who will shock the world. We don't know which bucket will break some hearts, who's showing up courtside, if dynasties will ever dynasty again. And we don't know which play will become a poster. But we do know that for tip-off, Christmas, finals, and everywhere in between,
stop playing with me.
ESPN is your home for hoops.
Welcome back. More than 3,000 people from the Almami local level government in the Bogia district, Medang province, have been affected following the overflow of Kumil River last week. The river burst its banks, causing destruction along its path. More than 50 houses were washed away, leaving the people speechless, as this was the first time they have witnessed flooding of this magnitude.
Areas affected in this natural disaster include Erewanam and Mawak villages in Ward 29, Ulatapun and Musiporo in Ward 30, and Papur and Tarikapa in Ward 31. Following the submission of an initial report from the ward councillors there, the provincial disaster team from Medang visited the site and conducted a disaster needs assessment or DNA over the weekend. During the assessment, Provincial Disaster Director Rudolph Mongali also carried out information sessions about the effects of climate change and how people should now adapt to changing weather patterns and seasons.
Climate change now on this ground, place down and come up. One big pla, heavy, me call him big pla monster. Look, long something, climb low, let him sit down, play you inside the community. You stop close to wara, kirap na go. No can walk your house the wara now. God ain't no can walk him too close to the wara. So now when time play you me too much sense him head play you me nothing play you me lo stop play you me lo community.
Alfred Mapuri from Ward 31 in Tarikapa village had his home washed away after heavy rains last Wednesday. His family lost all their belongings, including food gardens and cocoa.
Mi aus misilipom tu waraguanta. Salibli kaus ipasnapim longem waraguanta na kirap sol mi gurianau. Mi no ting mol samti mi olim betita sol mi ron kam guanta elementary classroom na mi start ta sol. Na lili pikini boklo movim samti. Kakao bag ursula. All moving. Ko na warai nona wara kami na plong brosia. Na oka samti em bagara pol kata. Garen kaya landslide tu em dipai rutin em bagara pol kata.
With all food gardens gone, representing the 3 wards there, Ward 31 Council John Ambal explained how they have managed so far.
We move around on night, we check him also get all right. Mark no die am come up so lino ko so big play sa so lo side lo kay kena mi plo pani big play bina mi plo kay ke mo bos kay ke mi pagat lo na wara na ground tu plus side to tem bakaran wara blood drink tu em bakarat mi plus tapos em sol no ka wi big play mi plo facing lo no sa tay.
The main income generating crop for the villages in Almami is cocoa, and most of the villages' cocoa plantations and nurseries have been destroyed or washed away by the floods. Mr. Ambal is calling on the government and agencies responsible to assist them with more cocoa seedlings, food rations, and housing materials. Meantime, the provincial disaster coordinator promised to furnish the assessment report to the provincial government. There were no lives lost, but heavy rains continue to threaten the people there. Alice Peter, TVWAN News, Medang.
The 2026 Westpac Outstanding Women Awards was launched in Port Moresby last night, calling on Papua New Guineans to recognize women making positive impacts in their communities and industries.
The awards hosted by Westpac PNG are among the country's leading recognition programs celebrating women's achievements in leadership, business, public service, community development, and innovation. Officials, partners, and past winners gathered for the launch, highlighting the importance of supporting women who are helping shape the nation's future.
These awards are about celebrating the excellence, about recognising the leadership, and also honouring the remarkable contribution of women in each and every sector across the country.
Organisers say the awards continue to grow in reach and influence, with more nominations coming from provinces outside Port Moresby in recent years. Westpac Pacific Managing Director Emma Lowe said the strong national response reflects the rise in confidence and visibility of women leaders across Papua New Guinea.
This speaks volumes about the growing momentum, confidence, and visibility of women's leadership across Papua New Guinea.
Westpac Group Chief Executive Officer Anthony Miller also reaffirmed the bank's commitment to supporting women through programs that invest in leadership, entrepreneurship, and opportunity.
Business and community is really just a people's game. And it's about investing in people and supporting people and giving people that opportunity to be their best.
Nominations for the 2026 Westpac Outstanding Women Awards are now open and will close on May 31st, with winners to be honored at a national ceremony scheduled for July. Westpac organizers are encouraging individuals and organizations to nominate women whose leadership and achievements deserve national recognition. Susan Oreape, TVWAN News.
Women leaders and community champions were placed in the spotlight at the launch of the 2026 Westpac Outstanding Women Awards in Port Moresby, with organizers urging the public to recognize those making real change across Papua New Guinea. The awards, hosted by Westpac PNG, honor women whose work in business, community service, entrepreneurship, and advocacy is helping shape the country's future. Speaking at the launch, Westpac PNG Board Chairwoman Tamzin Wardley said the program goes beyond celebration and helps highlight leadership, resilience, and innovation among PNG women.
The Westpac Outstanding Women Awards are a large piece of this process. They do far more than celebrate remarkable accomplishments. They throw a spotlight on leadership, resilience, and innovation shown by the women of our country.
Wardley encouraged organizations, communities, and individuals to nominate women whose contributions deserve national recognition, adding that past finalists and winners have become strong role models, helping reshape the nation. The event also heard from 2025 overall winner Anne Shirley Korave, founder of Queen Pads, who shared how the recognition strengthened her work supporting women and girls nationwide.
The WOW Awards recognition has helped strengthen existing relationships with Queen Pads and also instill pride and confidence in our small but powerful team.
Queen Pads has reached thousands of women and girls through menstrual health awareness and reusable sanitary product distribution across multiple provinces, highlighting the real impact of women-led initiatives. Nominations for the 2026 awards are now open and will close on May the 31st, with winners to be announced at a national ceremony in July. The awards continue to provide a national platform to recognize and support women driving positive change in Papua New Guinea. In news overseas, residents across the ACT's western border are being warned of looming water restrictions, with the hot, dry summer taking a toll on water reserves. The Yass Valley Council has flagged Level 1 restrictions could be enforced as soon as the end of this week, with more on the horizon if rainfall doesn't improve.
Recent drought has Yass Valley Council warning water restrictions are imminent.
We have had water evaporate quite rapidly from the dam, around 15 millimetres a day. And so we're around about 70 centimetres below the dam wall right now.
Level 1 restrictions kick in when the dam is at 81% capacity. Current water levels are getting close to that, now at 83%. Authorities hope this year might bring more rain.
Even if the dam was full at capacity, it only supplies 9 months of water. So we rely on those constant top-ups.
Despite similar weather conditions, water reserves in Canberra are at healthier levels.
In the short term, water restrictions do not look like they're on the cards for the ACT, but we don't want anyone to become complacent in terms of how they use water, because it is a precious resource.
With hot and dry weather forecast for Yass in the coming weeks, the Yass Valley Council is predicting Stage 1 water restrictions could kick in as early as this Friday. Those restrictions will limit water used for non-essential outdoor activities, such as hosing down paved surfaces or washing cars more than once a week. Many residents are resigned to the necessity of restrictions.
Restrictions are very inconvenient, but obviously, if they're a necessary measure if we're going to run out of water. We don't definitely want to run out of water.
I actually thought it was going to come in earlier than that, to be honest. I actually thought, well, it should be here now.
Let the lawn die, love. It'll come back. A town ready to go with the flow.
Health staff have cancelled plans for industrial action this week as the Tasmanian government and public sector unions edge closer a new pay and conditions deal. The sides have been at a stalemate for months after workers rejected the state government's offer of a 3% rise for 1 year. But now a breakthrough is on the cards.
At odds, strikes have disrupted the state's service in recent months. Today, health staff began taking new industrial action, including a ban on overtime and billing Medicare for procedures. hoping to pile pressure on ahead of meetings with government negotiators, having previously rejected the offer of a 3% pay rise for 1 year.
We will keep sitting at the table, and we would encourage others to do the same.
That action has now been suspended, the state government indicating an improved offer is on the way. More meetings have now been penciled in for Wednesday. If successful, it'll break the months-long deadlock.
Well, it's a basic necessity of any government to be able to come to arrangements with your workforce that are fair, equitable and allow people to be able to live a decent life.
Every extra percentage point pay rise for state servants costs around $250 million. And the budget's in a pretty rough spot already, with net debt set to hit $7 billion this year. It comes as the International Monetary Fund puts out a new report saying it has concerns about the credibility of Tasmania's fiscal strategy.
Not only is it calling out the debt, it's also calling out the inability of this Liberal government to keep to its spending promises.
Look, I think it's pretty extraordinary that Labor have got something to say on this. They have no credibility. You know, yesterday they were asking us to spend more money on childcare.
No end to the demands on the budget.
And that ends the news segment. Stay with us. Sports is next.
Life is about making memories, sharing new adventures. Go beyond the familiar. Don't let bacteria hold you back from experiencing the world. Protex uses natural antibacterial protection with flaxseed oil and eliminates 99.9% of bacteria. Free yourself. Go beyond with Protex.
Tonight on One News, the annual festival's been attracting crowds to New Plymouth for more than 20 years.
This is a perfect opportunity for the Pacific Islands Forum.
No Pacific Island is safe unless we all are safe.
Between Brisbane and Queenstown.
Right, in other news,
probably the club's greatest finals wins as a player and a coach. So.
After all, they are the four-time defending champions.
Friday, wind, rain, thunder. Heads up, that could be nasty. Apart from the North End. Look at that. Ooh.
It's not just a sport, it's a way of life.
Really good with ball in hand and will score under the post.
Charging down the field, shot by Maka. How about that for defending? McCarthy Black takes them all on the outside and he's gotten away initially.
And now Faith Nathan slices between the New Zealand defenders.
And they're almost the way they are, Fiji. They're going to get the opener in the second half. One line break is enough. They live and breathe this game.
Charge into the year of the horse with unstoppable Asian action.
You seen this one?
Nobody move! Witness legendary martial arts.
Hold it. You ready to die?
Where heroes rise and fists fly.
You've seen my power.
Let's share it together. Jet Li, Jackie Chan, and the ultimate fight for honor.
That's it. I guess I remember.
It's next level action with our legends.
We're the police. I want everybody on the floor.
Asian action takes the reins this Lunar New Year, Monday to Wednesday, right here on Rock Action.
Thanks for staying with us. The PNG Chiefs NRL franchise officially opened its new office and held its first board meeting today, with Lorna McPherson officially assuming her role as Chief Executive Officer on Monday, the 16th of February. The board meeting marks an important step in establishing the club's organizational structure, governance framework, and operational priorities as the franchise continues to build its foundation.
PNG Chief's office kicks off operation. This marks an important step in establishing the club's organizational structure and operational priorities. Present to witness the opening of the PNG Chiefs office at the National Football Stadium in Port Moresby were government dignitaries, representatives from the Australian High Commission, including Prime Minister James Marape, Foreign Affairs Minister Justin Tchenko, and NCD Governor Powers Pakop. Chief Executive Officer Lorna McPherson says with the office now operational, preparations are underway across administration and football operations. She highlighted the immediate priorities of the PNG Chiefs.
So immediate priority is to ensure that that centre of excellence is up and running and gets started to be built. We also need accommodation for all our players, or nobody's going to come or be able to live over here because accommodation won't be there for them. So we need to make sure that that accommodation's right as well. And then, of course, getting the coach.
As restructuring takes place, the first appointment to a leading role with the PNG Chiefs is former Channel 9 and Sydney Morning Herald journalist Michael Chalmers, who arrived in Port Moresby on Monday to assume his new role effective February 23rd, 2026.
For us, this is a new adventure to pave the way for the next generation of young kids so that they don't just see Papua New Guinea as a stepping stone to somewhere else, that they can actually fulfil their dreams here in this country. And that's the opportunity that's before the Chiefs right now. And I'm really excited to be part of that, having a club-first mentality. For us, this is a country-first mentality. And to do that, we need to be a family. It's a unique situation. Players are going to be here. They're going to live together. Family is going to be the essence of what we do, and I know that means a lot to the people of PNG, and an extension of that family is going to be the people. You know, the people, the fans, they're the brothers and sisters of the players, and that's what we're going to need to unite the country, and that's something that's really exciting about being on this journey, a greater sense of purpose, and everyone mentioned here, raising this nation to achieve great things. So I'm excited to be on board.
According to PNG Chiefs, Chalmers has a huge task ahead, and his priority now is securing a head coach fit to lead the Chiefs for the NRL season in 2028. McPherson lauds Chalmers' appointment, which she says is crucial and will set a benchmark for the PNG franchise.
So we're really excited to have Michael Chalmers on board. Michael has got fantastic knowledge of rugby league throughout the sport. He's been really well known for that too. His understanding of football is phenomenal. So I'm excited about having him. His passion, his energy as well is just second to none. So really excited about him being here. And I love the fact of his passion as well about creating the right pathways for Papua New Guineans and our own players and for the kids as well in our academies. So we're really focused on that too. So you'll see so much coming out too. So I'm really excited about the future.
McPherson says PNG Chiefs remain focused on building a professional and competitive organization that proudly represents Papua New Guinea and delivers long-term success both on and off the field. She thanked the governments of PNG and Australia for the huge support.
Yeah, it's fantastic to have the government on board. Of course, the Australian government have been there, and then the PNG government as well. And I think everybody working together is certainly it's great to have that. But ultimately, the PNG Chiefs is an institution that we're going to grow, and we will work together to make sure that we deliver for Papua New Guinea, because that's the main part of it.
Susan Oriape, TVWAN Sports.
Australian journalist Michael Chalmers will commence his new role as General Manager for the PNG Chiefs as of February the 23rd. Chalmers arrived in the country yesterday to assume his new role with a tough task ahead. Chalmers' immediate role is to recruit the head coach as soon as possible to enter the NRL in 2028. Chalmers said this is to ensure the PNG franchise is well prepared ahead of its entry.
The PNG Chiefs have until October 1st, 2027 to negotiate for player recruitment. But this doesn't stop the new franchise to gauge interest for a coaching role. The club wants to lock in the head coach to carry out the recruitment drive. This is expected to happen faster than expected. New General Manager of PNG Chiefs, Michael Chalmers, on his first public appearance today, provided his plans in his role.
This is a different appointment. The NRL has a large say in the coach. Now, we want to go through the right process. A lot of coaches who want to coach in PNG, we've got to make sure that we get the best coach. It's a unique job. It's not just coaching a footy team. It's also making sure that the players, their families, their wives, everyone's happy here. So we're working out which coaches that we want to speak to. And then in the next month, we'll go and speak to those coaches. We need a coach soon. You know, we don't want to muck around and have a coach in 6-7 months' time. We want a coach in the next...
Chalmers said the PNG Chiefs will be recruiting the best coach available so that they can compete with the best clubs in the competition. He pointed out some of the known names showing interest in the role with the Chiefs.
A lot of coaches have come out already and said they'd love to coach PNG. I know Jason Demetrio is the national coach. He's come out in the meeting today and said he'd love to coach. And Adrian Lamb last week, he said that he'd love to coach PNG. So there's no shortage of quality coaches. It's just working out which are the best ones.
Board member of the PNG Chiefs, Marcus Bai, clarified the misconception amongst PNG Rugby League fans, stating that player recruitment is the coach's job and he will decide on the player he wants to bring in, and no negotiation will happen next year until October.
It's too very early to ask the question of which player is going to come in, who's going to captain. There is no team at home, there is no coach. Number one, there's no coach. And we are working towards that. And number two, there's no team set up yet. When it comes to the 1st of November 2027, that's when those questions can come in.
Meanwhile, Chalmers expressed gratitude for being entrusted to the role, and he is grateful to be part of PNG Chiefs. He said others are also interested in being part of the new franchise.
When you go to a football club, an NRL club, they talk about a team-first mentality. The good clubs, they talk about having a club-first mentality. For us, this is a country-first mentality. And to do that, we need to be a family. It's a unique situation. Players are going to be here. They're going to live together. Family is going to be the essence of what we do. And I know that means a lot to the people of PNG. And an extension of that family is going to be the people. You know, the people, the fans. They're the brothers and sisters of the players. And that's what we're going to need to unite the country. And that's something that's really exciting about being on this journey, a greater sense of purpose. And I'm excited to be on board. We've got a lot of players, a lot of agents have reached out who want to be on board. And I genuinely believe...
Prime Minister James Marape attended the new PNG Chiefs office opening and the admission of Chambers to the role. He said Chalmers has been involved in sports for many years and will be a good fit for the Chiefs. Rex Litter, TV1 Sports.
Australia's state of origin clash between the New South Wales Blues and the Queensland Maroons will be played in New Zealand for the first time in 2027. This is the first time the game will be played outside Australia, the NRL announced recently.
State of Origin is amongst the biggest sporting events in Australia annually. The three State of Origin matches between Queensland and New South Wales is traditionally played in Australia, with matches hosted in Sydney, Brisbane and Perth. With the new eligibility changes and increased support for the event in New Zealand, the NRL has decided to take the event to New Zealand. This would help grow the game across the region and reward the strong support rugby league receives there. The NRL has confirmed Eden Park as the venue to host the series opener. The match is expected to attract a large crowd, with New Zealand having a strong rugby league fan base and many Australians living and working across the country. State of Origin Series is one of the most watched sporting events in Australia and the wider Pacific region, drawing thousands of viewers every year. NRL said this move is an important one to ensure the sport has strong presence in the region. The NRL further noted that 2027 match in New Zealand will be a step in the right direction for the games and could open the door for more international hostings in the future. Queensland Maroons won the 2025 State of Origin Series by winning 2 matches to 1 and are the defending title holders. Rex Litter, TV1 Sports.
And that ends the sports segment. We'll now have the weather forecast. Regional forecast. Southern, Port Moresby mostly fine then partly cloudy in the afternoon with chances of few showers. Daru mostly fine. Momase, Ley mostly fine becoming cloudy in the evening with some rain showers. Madang mostly fine followed by some rain later tonight. New Guinea Islands, Lorengau, a brief sunshine followed by some rain with possible thunderstorm. Buka partly cloudy with chances of few showers. And Highlands region, Menditari and Wabeg, partly cloudy to mostly cloudy in the afternoon to evening with some rain. Ocean forecast, Coral Sea. Seas becoming rough with northwest winds of 15 to 25 knots. Solomon Sea, Bismarck Sea and Pacific Ocean. Seas light with northeast winds of 5 to 15 knots. And coastal waters forecast. Waters of southern PNG Indonesian border to Daru to Kiwai Island, Kerama Yule Island, Hood Point to Samar Island. Sea 0.5 to 1.5 meters, rising to 2 to 3 meters at times along warning areas. Waters of Finchefin through Vitia Strait to Siasi Long Island to Madang. Sea 0.5 to 1.5 meters. And waters of Manus and its western group of islands, sea 0.5 to 1.3 meter. And that wraps up the news this Tuesday. Thanks for your company. Good night.
The TV1 News was proudly brought to you by
Missing the headlines that matter the most? Only one better way to stay up to date. TV1 Online. One click on tv1.com.